Hey, it's me again. And it's been a couple of weeks since I last did a diary. Well, I mean, I didn't do one last week. And that's because I was packing orders all week. And that's why I've got my feet up now, because I am pretty much finished packing orders for this year. There's a few ones that'll go out on Friday, so, you know, that'll happen. Yeah. So last order's Friday. And they might reach you for Christmas, but they might not. Royal Mail is running pretty slowly at the moment. But anyway, that's dull chat. So what happens in the life of me is the artist now. I've just had the busiest online sales period I've ever had. Thank you all. And that's going to basically pay for January and February when I'll probably have no income. Because normally that's a hard time of year to sell anything, and of course we have Brexit coming, so I don't know what that'll entail. None of us do, I guess. So it's a dark time of year. As an artist, I don't. I find this time of year pretty difficult. It's not so bad going into Christmas because I'm always very busy. But the months, the sort of January and February are quite difficult. So what I tend to end up doing is, because I haven't got any of my day-to-day work to do, so I'm not got a lot of orders. I won't have a lot of orders in January and February, so I will be having to do other things, and so that might be for a few years now. That's been the time of year when I kind of come up with ideas when I don't have other things in my brain taking up space. So I've got time to sit, think, mull things over, and just see what happens. Now my shop is quite full of things, as you've probably noticed by now. I've got several, my landscapes range, my Scots Sayings range, my Scots Beasties range, and all my cultural stuff. There's a lot of things, and I'm a bit wary of making even more stuff to add into it at the start of next year. So I don't quite know how that'll work out. What I might do is I might go through what's in my shop and start editing out more of the stuff that's there. So just removing some of the stuff that isn't as popular. There's things I can see that aren't selling very well, and I'm wary of having too many things in the shop at one time. So I'll just switch things off if they're not nobody wants them. But I also like to make stuff that isn't related to my indie print shop, because I can't just be doing that. And if for me as a creative person, I like to make stuff. I kind of need to make stuff often, not necessarily every day, but kind of every day. And it can be anything really. That cooking dinner, for example, might be a way of creating something that kind of uses some of that energy. Somebody once told me that if you don't use unused creative energy is a negative. I've not expressed that very well. So, but the idea is, if you don't use your creative energy, it can be negatively impactful on you, so to speak. Am I making sense? I don't know. I'm just wittering on, and I haven't really planned what I'm saying. But essentially, so January, February, I might paint. I've been an abstract artist for about 10 years, and I haven't really painted much in the last 5. Partly because of the success of my shop. It's been so busy that finding the space, both in my brain and in here, to actually make a painting has been a challenge. Making a painting is not a clean and easy process, and it's not something you can't just sit down and go, I'm going to paint today, because it doesn't really work like that. There needs to be, it's more nuanced, I guess. I mean, you can just go, I'm painting, but the results don't always work out quite the same. So yeah, so I might paint, I might make some music, because I enjoyed doing that. So starting next year, creative stuff. I've also got a vague plan to try and write some stuff. There's an idea that I was kicking about with around the start of lockdown, of kind of Scottish mythology, something like I can't even remember what the name of it was. But yeah, I was looking at the Norse pantheon, It's got its creation myths, and you can think of the Greek creation myths, and there's various other, you know, pantheons, creation myths. And Scotland doesn't necessarily have these kind of folk gods or whatever you want to call them. Although, well, actually it does. There are some, and they're just not very well known. And I came across a book a couple of years ago that had some really interesting stories in it, and I wanted to kind of reinterpret them into more of a kind of creation myth for Scotland. I thought that'd be a kind of a fun thing to put together. I started looking at it. I did a couple of sort of rough idea of what it could look like during lockdown, and then once lockdown was over, I started dealing with orders. And once I start dealing with orders on a day-to-day basis, it's quite hard to find a space for a big project like that, because it takes, you know, you need a couple of months to really get into something like that. And if you're doing day-to-day work, it interrupts the part of your brain that you need to make stuff. So so the start of the year, which is traditionally the time when I'll be feeling the most down, it'll be also the time when I kind of have the space and the time to be creative. So there's two things that are kind of fighting against each other, and I'm going to be experiencing them pretty much, well, from now on, from Friday, I suppose. So it's going to be an interesting time when I try and deal with all of that. So I might keep doing video diaries. I don't know. I don't know if anyone's watching them. Not many of you, I guess, are just now. But of course, the key to these is to keep doing it. So yeah, that's it. That's all I've got to say. I'm going to make stuff. It might not be for sale. It might just be stuff that I want to make. Okay. So if you've got this far, thanks for watching. I hope you have a nice festive season, as well as it can be had. That was a terrible sentence, but you know what I mean. Thanks for all your support all the way through this year. I really appreciate it, and yeah, I'm just really grateful that you've been supporting me, supporting my work, buying my work, and sharing it. It really means a lot to me. So thank you very much. Have a lovely Christmas and New Year, and wait a minute. Have a lovely. Ooh, no, I might actually be back before all that. Well, if I am, then have all that, and if I am not, oh, you know what I'm saying. I'm stopping talking now because I'm just havering. Haters.